What's up, guys? Good day to you. So today, guys, I'm going to bring you something first time, I guess, as in first time I'm ever doing it, and it's something a little different from what I am used to putting out, but it does kind of have to do with the content that I do put out, and it's kind of along the same lines, if you will. So take, for example, I do a lot of content around relationships, specifically for women to kind of understand men, what to do, what not to do, that sort of thing. And I feel like it's something that's becoming more and more prevalent nowadays. It's something that gets a lot of attention, or seems to be getting more attention as time goes on. Well, I'm sure you all, or at least most of you, probably have heard of the Fresh and Fit podcast. Most notably, one of the hosts, or one of the guys on there, his name is Myron. He tells the honest and brutal truth as to, men, I guess, what they think and what's okay, what's not okay. He calls out women on a lot of shit and just goes, hey, you all do this and you expect men to do this. Well, guess what? That's a double standard. You can't do that without doing X, Y, and Z. And honestly, I will say the man tells the truth. I mean, I don't really agree with everything that he says. I would say that I agree probably with most of what he says. I think that there are some shades of gray with what he says. Not everything is quite as black and white, but there are certain things that, kind of are. So what I'm gonna bring to you guys today is a little reaction, or reactions, if you will, to some of the clips and some of the things that I have heard him say. I'm just gonna basically share with you guys my opinion on all of it. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to put this out first of all. I am not at all going after him by any means. I am not at all say that, he's wrong and he's misogynistic or he's bad by any means or anything. No, absolutely nothing negative. Like I said, I actually agree with a lot of what he says, and I like that he tells the truth. He sits there and, he's around all of these women, and, they're there and they're saying all kinds of outrageous, crazy things, and he's just kind of like, no, and he calls them out on their bullshit. So I commend the guy, I respect the guy 100%. Like I said, I am not at all going after him for anything that he has said. I might merely disagree with some of the things that he says. And I will, of course, point those things out, and I will, of course, point out the things that I do totally agree with him on. And no, I am not clout chasing. I am simply making good and I think really fun and honestly probably funny content. I'm just kind of switching it up a little bit. And I think I provide a pretty unique perspective on these types of things. I've seen a lot of people reacting to his videos. Some people are just utterly bashing him for certain things. Other people are just kind of like, oh, this is terrible. It's just like, no, honestly, I don't think it's terrible at all. I think I'm going to provide a very good, unbiased, and very unique perspective to this topic overall, as far as modern day, I guess, men and women dating, the double standards in society, which, let's face it, most of the time the double standards, often do disadvantage the men rather than the women. Yeah, like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I'm just gonna go very much off the cuff, and we're gonna see. Okay, so guys, the very first video I'm going to be reacting to is Myron saying that cheating doesn't exactly count for men. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Alright guys, all cheating is not equal. In other words, if I'm a guy and I have sex with another girl and I have a girlfriend, it's not really cheating like that. But if a girl has a boyfriend and she has sex with another guy, that's definitely cheating. As a matter of fact, if she even talks to another guy, it's cheating. Why? Because it is easy for girls to get in relationships and get sex from men, but it is very difficult for men to get sex in relationships from women. So the reality is, we're not the same. There's double standards. It just so happens that women always cry and complain when there's double standards that don't benefit them. I don't see you complaining when you get in the club for free. I don't see you complaining when you can make 10K on OnlyFans a month from selling feed pictures. I don't see you complaining about meeting celebs and getting invited to certain social situations. Listen, life isn't fair, and men have to deal with the brunt of that. It just so happens this is the one situation where men are favored. Men can have indiscriminate sex, women cannot. And as a matter of fact, your biology punishes you for doing it. You end up pregnant with a loser's baby.
Okay, guys. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good video. I tell you, I like that guy, I really do. Anyway, to what he said, I will have to say, I disagree with the premise that it doesn't count. The simple fact of the matter is, in my opinion, it does count. You know, I understand what he's saying about his reasoning as to why it doesn't count, and it makes total sense. That's the part there I will say, like, I understand what he's saying, and I can actually agree with him many ways, but the point, what I'm trying to say is where I disagree with him is, it's still not correct. Just because of those reasons, it doesn't make it right necessarily. You know, I think that if you are going to be in a relationship with somebody, man or woman, you know, if you sit there and you say, hey, I'm in a relationship with you, I think that by default means that you are exclusive. And I think that should, you know, you're in a relationship automatically means that you're exclusive. If you're exclusive, then you should not be messing with any other people, either physically, mentally, spiritually, intellectually. I think it's just totally wrong, and I go based on principle. So that is the principle of everything and anything having to do with a relationship, is that, you know, I guess you are totally monogamous. Unless you make it very clear to your partner that you want to be polygamous and you want to be out there and you want to be messing with, you know, guys, girls, whatever. I mean, that's, like I said, totally up to you. But like I said, if you set that precedent that you are gonna be in an exclusive relationship, you know, guys, you don't get to just go and cheat on your girlfriend and, you know, use the excuse of, well, you know, it's easier for girls to do. And yeah, and don't get me wrong, he is absolutely right. Everything else he said is 100% correct. And you know, like I said, I have to disagree with him just because of principle, you know, just because that has always generally been the societal standard. It has been the societal standard that if you are going to be in a relationship, you are only going to be with that one person. You know, there was never really a time when, in modern day, if you will, where it was really acceptable to be in a relationship and go and mess with other people. That's why they call it cheating. Here's where I will totally agree with him, and I'll talk about where he is correct, and I can see what he is saying. This is where I can, like I said, I can totally understand where he's coming from and what he's trying to say, which is, yeah, women, it is so much easier for women to get sex from men. Oh my God, yes, yes. Honestly, you know, as a girl, all you have to, literally, like, especially if you are a good looking girl, or even if you're not the best looking girl, but like, you know, you can go out there anywhere, to the bar, to the club, and trust me, you can get a guy to go home with you. You can get a guy to go home with you, you can get laid, and it's really not that difficult. You know, it's really not. Like, you know, it is so easy. It is just so super easy. It, however, is not the case for men. You know, men, you know, you can be an upstanding, good looking dude. You can be whatever. You could be 6 feet tall. It doesn't matter, okay? It is still by far harder for a guy to go home and sleep with a girl. It is, you know what I mean? Like, if you put, I would, you know, if you want to conduct a social experiment, it doesn't matter. But I'll bet you could take a real, like a top tier, high value guy, as women like to call him, and you could put him out at the bar, out at the club, and I guarantee you, it will take more effort for him to go home with a woman than it will for any woman, unless she's like batshit ugly, okay? It will be easier for any woman to just go and pick up a guy, honestly. Like, she will have a much easier time than he will. So yeah, I do 100% understand what he is saying. It is much more difficult, and I can see why he says what he says and why he thinks what he thinks as far as, you know, for women, it's just so much easier. And therefore, if she goes home and she sleeps with a guy that is not her boyfriend and she's in a relationship, then yeah, that type of cheating, I guess, is worse. The other thing too is women generally, they don't necessarily cheat for sex. You know what I mean? They cheat because there's something emotional, there's something deeper going on in the relationship that has more to do with the guy and him and his personality. So they'll go outside of the relationship for that reason, and they'll go and they'll find a guy to cheat with. And honestly, it does seem like it's for a worse and more harmful reason, if you will, than the guy going and getting with another girl. You know, 9 times out of 10 when a guy is cheating, it's probably because he's just like, he just wants sex. He just wants a different type of sex, whatever. You know what I mean? There's really not much more that's deeper, in my opinion, at least. So I totally see what he's saying. But then again, guys, like I said, I'm not at all trying to say that this type of stuff is okay. I am not. I would not be cool with it, okay? If I was in a relationship with a girl, I would not be okay with going and hooking up with another girl, you know, or even on an emotional talking level, that sort of thing. Like, I would not be okay with that at all. I would certainly not be okay with the girl, you know, my girlfriend doing anything like that. Like, it would not fly with me. And yeah, it's like, that's the other thing too. Like, you know, he's saying that a girl, also, even if she doesn't go and hook up with the guy, if she's there and she's talking to him and she's kind of flirting with him, intimating, doing anything of that sort, then yeah, like that's I guess can be considered cheating, emotional cheating, if you will. And it's, you know, that's also not right, but I see what he's saying. Like, it's totally a double standard. And yeah, he is right, 100%. As a society, like, women do often complain about the double standards that don't benefit them. You know, he gave the example about, you know, getting into the club for free, being able to make a ton of money on OnlyFans. Like, hey, you know what? Here's my opinion on that. All power to you, okay? If you can do that, sure, go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, you're not there, like, you know, that's really, that's not something I will really fault women for. I won't fault them for having that advantage in society because, you know, by default, it's kind of been given to them, and, you know, why not use it, or why not take advantage of it if it's available to you? You know, as long as you're not there, you're not harming anybody by any means, like, you know, sure, go ahead, have it, you know what I mean? And the other thing too, I will say is, it's really not women's fault when it comes to that. Why? Because who gives them that power? Men, you know what I mean? It's because, you know, bouncers and the club owners, you know, probably the majority of them are owned by men, okay? And they see some smoking hot girl coming up, you know, in the line and stuff. It's 50, 60 bucks to get into the nightclub. You know, are they gonna let the girls, you know, the hot girls, like, skip the line and everything? Yeah. Are they gonna let them in for free? Yeah. Well, guess what? That's all because men, a lot of times, do nothing but think with their dicks. And they're just like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead, take it for free. Or, you know, just, you can get in now and you can get in for free. Like I said, I will not fault women for that, because, like I said, they're just given, it's given to them by default. And honestly, the reason why it's given to them by default is because of men. It really is. I mean, gentlemen, that's something that honestly we have to take responsibility for. We can't sit here and we can't blame these women for things, but then sit there and go, okay, well, who gave that? Who gave that to them? Like, who allowed that? We did. It's just kind of like, well, okay, it's, you know, you can't sit there and claim and, you know, get upset that you got shot, but you're the one who gave your mortal enemy the knife or, you know, the gun to shoot you. It's kind of like, well, okay, yeah, no wonder you got fucking shots, because you fucking gave them the ammunition, you dumb fuck. But yes, here's where I will fault women, is I will fault them for complaining about double standards that don't advantage them. So yeah, it's a little bit like, hey, like, you can have the double standards that do advantage you and stuff, okay? But don't complain about the ones that don't advantage you. So, hey, do your thing, do what you gotta do, you know, whatever, take advantage of the ones that do advantage you, but don't complain about the ones that don't advantage you. And he is 100 billion% correct. You know, life is not fair, and men often do have to bear the brunt of all of those unfairnessness is whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I mean, often still to this day, you know, men are still, whether it's a relationship, a job, whatever, like you're the one that has to bear all the responsibility. At the end of the day, by default, gentlemen, it is our fault. And ladies, you don't understand that. Like, you really don't. So, and trust me, I think in many ways, maybe 100 years from now, when society has progressed and things do change even more, maybe you will. But for now, trust me, you don't get it. Trust me, you don't. And then he, at the very end, goes to say that, you know, men can have indiscriminate sex and, you know, women can't, and their biology punishes them because they wind up having a loser's baby. Okay, you know what, like, I have to agree with the guy, you know what I agree with him, you know, I mean, it makes sense. It makes total sense. It is true. It's a biological fact, honestly, like, you know, shout out to you, Myron. Like, you really tell the truth, buddy. You really do. Guys, you know, I can't tell you, that is true. I can't tell you how many times, you know, I have seen that throughout my life. I have seen, just, yeah, I've seen it. What he just said, you know, getting pregnant with a loser's baby, yeah, I've seen it plenty of times. Yeah, so I don't really have much more to say about that other than I agree. On to the next and last video that I will do about Myron and what he says. Okay, so this next video, he's talking about, I guess a man's allowed to do whatever, so let's see what he says. Roll.
But I'm just gonna say it anyway. If a man reaches a certain level or a status or earns a certain amount of money, he should run around and fuck as many girls as he wants. Because that's what men want. You guys got what you wanted. You got the dream guy. He's your boyfriend. He's taking you serious. You got the ring. You got the title. You got the girlfriend status. He may be taking care of you. You got what you want. You got the security. So he's going to want to go ahead and fuck other girls. What's wrong with that? I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay. Well. So again, same thing. I have to, okay. I have to disagree with him by principle. Just because, like I said, if you are going to sit there and say that you are in a relationship with this person, it automatically defaults to you being exclusive, therefore you should not do anything of the sort. So I will stick by that. He's not wrong. The problem is with that is, you know, if you're gonna do that, then you're gonna be in a tit for tat relationship, which I don't think anybody really wants. I don't think anybody really wants to be in a tit for tat relationship. So what I think he's trying to say is, you know, if he's got status, if he's successful and you're with him, okay, guess what? You, as the woman, you got what you want. You got the high value man, you know, the one who's got a ton of money, who's very successful, who has a lot of options, who is harder to both, I guess, attract, impress, and to obtain and keep, if you will. Let's face it, women don't want a guy who's easy to get, you know what I mean? They want the guy that's not easy to obtain. They want, you know, in their eyes, that's what a high value man is. Okay, you as the woman, you have the high value man. You got the guy with the status and whatever. And that's what you want. You want that high value guy with that status. So, but there he is, okay, he's got the status. He wants to go around, use his status to, I don't know, have sex with lots of women and stuff. So it's a little bit like, okay, you got what you wanted from him because you have him and he's all these things. Why can't he go out and do the things that he wants to do, which is to have sex, live, you know, all extravagant, do all these crazy things in exchange for him giving you security, giving you the money, all these other kinds of things, you know, the status among your girlfriends, all that stuff and everything. Why can't he go and do what he wants to do? You got what you want. now he needs to get what he wants. So, you know, like I said, I understand what he's saying, but in my opinion, that's a tit for tat relationship. Like I said, I don't think anybody really wants to be in a tit for tat relationship. I think that, of course, everybody's needs do need to be met. But like I said, if you're gonna be in that type of, you know, if you're gonna say that you're in a relationship or you're gonna get married, then, you know, like I said, by principle, you should be exclusive. And honestly, I don't think, like, if that's the way that, you know, a man is going to view a marriage or relationship, that, okay, well, I'm giving her what she wants, now I should just go out and be able to do whatever the hell I want, as in mess with other women. I don't agree with that. Like I said, I think that, you know, dude, honestly, you probably shouldn't be getting married. You probably shouldn't be in a relationship, you know, because the simple fact of the matter is if you have an affair, you do anything like that, she'll divorce you at the end of the day, and then whatever you have, she'll take off for herself. You know what I mean? So, and then she'll be a high status, high value bitch all by herself. You get what I'm saying? You know, I don't think you should do that. Ladies, if you're going to be with a guy just because he has money and he has status and he's got all these things, and if you're gonna wanna be with him just to impress your friends and impress, you know, your girlfriends and be like, oh, I'm some high status, high value bitch or whatever, and I'm, you know, I'm a trophy wife or anything, honestly, that's no reason to be with somebody or to get married to somebody, honestly. So again, he's marrying you for the wrong reasons, you're marrying him for the wrong reasons. You really just shouldn't be together, honestly. And honestly, you probably shouldn't be with anybody until you get that type of shit straight. So it goes for both men and women. I will also say, guys, you really got to think about what type of relationship you want. If that's really the type of relationship that you want, then, you know, you got to be ready for all that dissension and all that crap to come with it. Then you got to be, you know, I don't think anybody wants to be in that type of contest relationship. I feel like it's everywhere nowadays, but I don't think anybody seriously wants that. There are relationships out there and there are people out there that don't want that and want a relationship that's not based on money, that's not based on sex, you know what I mean? So yeah. So like I said, that's my reaction or my reactions to Myron. Like I said, I disagree with, you know, the premise of some of the things that he says, but I understand him and I understand his reasoning, and I do totally get what he says about the double standards, like I said. So, you know, like I said, I'm not there bashing him by any means, saying that he's a bad guy or anything like that. No, not at all. Like I said, I respect the guy 100 billion%. I understand what he is saying. I like the content that he makes. I hope he continues to make the content, you know, because I really do feel like, you know, women do need to understand that, you know what I mean? He has a certain way of putting certain things out, and, you know, in certain situations too, like, he's very good at that. And like I said, I respect and I admire the guy. So like I said, I'm glad he's doing what he's doing. I think he needs, you know, or society needs to hear that. Honestly, society needs to hear, so that way women can understand. They're like, oh, well, yeah, wait a minute. Okay. Like, I wouldn't like it if, you know, I don't like it. You know, this is not what I like, you know, why am I doing this type of shit? Like, yeah, shout out to Myron, you know, man, you tell the truth, bro. I like it. I really hope that you guys like this video. Please like, comment, let me know what your thoughts are, and please subscribe. It really does help me at the end of the day. Like I said, it helps the algorithm, helps everything, guys. So like I said, please like, comment, and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll be coming out with more reaction videos. There are a good number of TikTokers and content creators that have made, that I, you know, listen to, I guess fairly often, and I hear their opinions, and I'm just kind of like, wow, I'm like, you know, that's pretty interesting. Certain things out there are, you know, pretty spicy, pretty crazy, and I'm just kind of like, whoa, okay, like it gets me laughing and stuff too. So yeah, I'll be definitely making more of these videos. If there's anybody that you guys would like me to react to, please just give me the video, give me their name, you know, wherever the content is, the specific part, and I will certainly react to it, and I'll go ahead and give you guys my opinion on it. So have a good rest of your day, guys, and stay tuned. I'll be seeing you guys soon. All right.